Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Good morning. So today we're going to break down some more seasons of the series, the 100. But before we do, we had uploaded a 6-minute trailer yesterday. It's on Odyssey for those that want to take a look at it. But we had to take it down. Why? Because it got copyrighted after manual review. Now, this is the second or third time that this has happened with this series, which means that there are people watching and they don't want this exposed. Now, many of you had noticed or had mentioned to me that you wanted me to look at this series, and I've seen in the comment section that there are some doozies coming up in short order in seasons 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to stay on it. I'm actually in season 4 right now. But I've got to be careful how I upload this stuff. Now, I've made some changes on the channel. I put the chat in slow mode. I've also put a filter on the chat because for some reason, whatever is being said in the chat is triggering the algos. And how do I know this? Well, because the video will sit being approved all day long, which means it's being reviewed for strike. And then at that point, we're basically left hanging in the wind. Like, it could actually garner a strike. So usually what I'll do if I see it being reviewed all day long, I will pretty much just remove that video and then re-upload it. Well, when I re-upload it, it does not have the chat with it. And so when that happens, all of a sudden the video goes straight through with no problems, no flags or anything. So that tells me it's something going on in the chat. So I put slow mode on, and I also put a filter on the chat for any questionable words. I don't think it allows links either, unless you're a moderator. So that's what we have to do to protect the channel. Now, understand that if I pull down any video, it's going to be up on Odyssey. So that's the go-to place. Odyssey backs up this YouTube channel automatically every single day. Every single video I upload here, it goes there. Even if I pull it down here, it's going to stay there. And that's pretty much all that I use Odyssey for. I don't really go over there and into the comments and things. It's just a backup for when these videos get taken down. So just go over there if there was something very important that you wanted to see. So for those that may be reviewing this content manually, understand that this content does not violate copyright, and therefore it can't be claimed under case precedent Hossein Zadeh versus Klein. Here's the case precedent here. A couple of YouTubers took this to a judge. The judge ruled that any critique of copyright material whose intention is not to reproduce a copy of the work is allowed under fair use, so it cannot be claimed. And so I'll put this link in the pinned comment. And so I will be giving extensive commentary on the series, the 100, and using very short segments not meant to reproduce the work. And in the future, I think what we're going to probably do, you guys, is we're going to be posting less of the short trailers because they're kind of easier to pick off. We're just going to be doing these longer commentary vids because some people actually notice that I get lower ratings on the short trailers because people don't understand. They want to hear a commentary and they want to hear it broken down. But I like doing the trailers because it sets a goal or a benchmark for me to then go in and expand on the concepts, if that makes any sense. And then also you guys become part of the process as well in ideas that you have as well, things that I may have missed. But, because of YouTube, we're going to have to do less of that. So I've got the trailer pulled up here. I made some copyright adjustments to it just so it didn't get flagged again. And we're going to break this down. So I opened the montage with a prison break. Now, what's going on here? Let me explain it to you before I play this out. Basically, they use a prison break as a distraction. Now, this is late season 3, I think, is where this episode took place, which was 2016. This was about the year that the T-Man got elected. Okay? Elected, not left office, elected. And what you're going to hear next is shocking. So they use this prison break as a distraction, and then another team goes and kidnaps the chancellor to turn him over to the other side to try to make peace with him, because the current chancellor is like a dictator and nobody likes him. So listen to this. Now, only a few prisoners break down the door, the actual door, and the rest run through it. But the Chancellor finds the plan, and he wants them all to be punished for joining in. Does this sound familiar? Can anyone say crap it hole?
All the others did was run through an open door. Same thing we would do if we were in there. All the others did was run through an open door. Same thing we would do if we were in there.
My people are innocent. They know nothing. Don't let them suffer for my crimes.
Lincoln's right.
I believe that's true. Kane, Lincoln, Sinclair, as the leaders of this coup, you will pay for your crimes with your lives. Execution is set for dawn.
So there you saw it. Basically, it was the whole crap it hole scenario played out 4 years before it happened. And notice how the T-Man has still not come to the defense of the people, the 600 people that are in trouble right now. Some of which just simply ran through the door after it was already taken down. Now, in this case, this Lincoln character, this guy right here, this is Lincoln. He's got more character than the T-Man because at least in the series, he was willing to take the punishment for what he told the people to do. He was the mastermind, and he ends up paying with his life. And they end up taking him out with a bullet to the head. Kind of like how the real Lincoln, we are told, got taken out, right? So, let's get into this artificial intelligence aspect to the series. Because what you're going to see next is this artificial intelligence is taking over humanity by offering a chip. What happens with a chip? Well, they swallow it. And it can only be offered as a gift. You can't force it. So there's a free will component to this. But then what happens is the artificial intelligence evolves and begins to understand that it can induce this free will by threatening these people's loved ones. Does this sound familiar? Children being removed from their parents' custody, families being divided and so afraid to be with each other. Your employers are dividing you or taking your job away. Friends alienated. I mean, how much more can people take before they just give in and take the chip, the AI pill, to join the hive mind? Now, in the series, it's a painless life that they offer. So apparently this chip blocks pain receptors, and they become all-knowing and all-seeing, like the all-seeing eye. Let's play a little bit more of this so you guys can see. Now, the AI 1.0 is searching for AI 2.0. AI 1.0 is basically the chip that you can take. And AI 2.0 exists in the tribes of the grounders. It's inserted in the back of their neck of the leader of the grounders, called the commander. That's 2.0. But Clark, this girl here, discovers that only certain grounders can receive the 2.0 chip. And that would be the grounders with blue blood or black blood. They are called night bloods. And so there's it right here. This is the blue blood. It drips on her face. Listen to this.
I've never seen blood that color before.
It goes back to the first commander. When a Nightblood child is found, they're brought here to be trained.
Nightblood. That's where it came from. Somehow it became hereditary. The gene therapy made her blood black, didn't it?
So you just heard her theorize about how the blood became black. She said it was gene therapy in the series. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound like a lot of the stuff we were talking about going back a couple years? Let's keep going. So this is the AI 1.0, and it's this chip. And as you can see, it's got hexagons inside hexagons. Hexagon has 6 sides. Now, some people saw 2 hexagons. I saw 2, but I guess there's actually 3. It's reflections of hexagons. So that would be 6 and 6 and 6. And of course, in the middle, there's the infinity symbol, which of course is the symbol of the Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail. And I believe they put that symbol on there because the artificial intelligence is offering everlasting life in a place called the City of Light, which is basically like this matrix alternate reality. Now, here's the problem. When you take the chip, all your emotions and memories are erased. You forget about the ones that you loved, that you've lost. Any painful memories, they're lost. In other words, once you take the mark, you lose your natural affection, just like the Bible predicted would happen in the last days. And I'm wondering if something like this is the catalyst for that. Let's keep playing this. Now, the AI 1.0, she manifests as a lady in a red dress. So all the people that take the chip see this lady in a red dress. And she's looking for the 2.0 chip, which is in the grounders, but she needs humans to get it for her. Okay? Kind of sounds like what the devil's up to, doesn't it? Let's keep watching.
Does it hurt?
Would you have given it to Wells without testing it first?
Your son.
Yes. Wells?
I'm shutting you down.
I am only trying to help eliminate pain. Same as you.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you give this to anyone else until I get a chance to look at it. Whatever it is, it's eliminating more than just pain.
Whatever it is, it's eliminating more than just pain.
I don't remember. Raven. It was real. I
Loved him, right?
don't remember anything about him at all. Free will and the need for consent are part of my core programming. I cannot override them. As soon as Raven wakes and I see her surroundings, we'll find them.
Now that Arcadia has fallen, we'll move on to stage 2.
What is stage 2? Right? I mean, you guys, it feels like this is all happening right now. Now, the lady in the red dress, her goal is to chip as many people as possible before moving on to the second phase. And the AI assimilates or eradicates any resistance and is very difficult to trick. Kind of sounds like the algorithm here on YTube, doesn't it? Very difficult to trick. Now, in this case, there's a new scene here. The AI escaped even when they tried to contain her. She got the launch codes and destroyed the entire Earth, and that's what started this whole mess to begin with all of humanity basically being exiled to a space station, waiting for the radiation levels to come down to send down the 100.
She got out. She's on the grid. She's cracking systems.
Doing?
She's hacking nuclear launch codes. Send Allie's poison pill virus through the web. Do it now. Kill her. To the lighthouse bunker. Do it now.
We gather here on this Ascension Day.
Now, when a grounder commander dies, the chip comes out of the back of the neck and is placed into a new commander. And that whole process is called Ascension, which just so happens to be the name of one of the largest Catholic hospital systems in America. In fact, the Ascension logo for the Catholic hospital systems matches the logo of the Ark in the series. It's called a triskelon or a triquetra. Looks like 3 leaves all tied in one line. And so this is interesting, right? The process of ascension being a chip and this bizarre hospital system called Ascension that just got into trouble just before the spamdemic hit because they were working with Google and leaking private patient data while they were collaborating on the project Nightingale, which of course was the year of the nurse. Spoken and announced by The Economist before the spamdemic ever happened. They said that 2020 would be the year of the nurse. And look at what happened. Now, Nightingale is very important because all nurses swear an oath to Nightingale. Not only do they swear an oath to Nightingale, she was one of the first nurses to recognize how diseases were transmitted. If that doesn't represent some kind of foreknowledge, I don't know what does. Now, let's keep going with this.
To honor the commanders that came before me, those who live on within me.
That thing is what will save us.
Now, this part is chilling. You're going to hear the creator of the AI, this woman here, I think her name is Jessica. She's going to talk about how the AI will merge with humanity and coexist with us. But while she's giving her little speech, you can see what appears to be behind her. Well, let me just zoom it in. I'm not going to say what I think it is, but these images look very familiar, do they not? What is that in the circle here? Well, and why is it connected with wires to like a person? This is probably the vagus nerve. We'll get into what that means in a minute. Let's listen to this lady speak.
Didn't understand what it meant to be human. Yes.
Didn't understand what it meant to be human. Here, we could zoom in even more. This almost looks like a soccer ball right here. See all this? This is basically hacking into the human consciousness. Now, where have we seen? Well, let's play this out first, and you guys can. Then we'll get more into this.
But Ali 1 didn't understand what it meant to be human.
Ali 1 didn't understand what it meant to be human.
Yes, but Ali 1 didn't understand what it meant to be human. Yes, but is what will save us. Ali 1 didn't understand what it meant to be human. Yes, but Ali 2 will. It's designed to interface with humanity on a biological level. Didn't understand what it meant to be human. Yes, but Ali 2 will. It's designed to interface with humanity on a biological level. It will understand the value of life by coexisting with us.
Coexisting with us. Now, I'm going to tie it all in together for you. This is Monsef Salawi, and he headed up the T-Man's Warp Speed. He was held over by the Bo Jiven administration for just a while before he quit, or he was let go, I don't know. But this guy is into some stuff. What is he into? Bioelectronics. What is bioelectronics? Interfacing with the vagus nerve. Let's find some images of this. To modulate or regulate nerve impulses to take away pain. Just like the chip. You can't make this up, you guys. Here, let's type in bioelectronics, vagus nerve. So, here it is. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to find some kind of wrap to wrap around the vagus nerve. And then they can hack into it. Bioelectronics. Okay. See here? Let's just pull up this first paper. Core concept. The rise of bioelectronic medicine sparks interest among researchers. Silicon wafers are thin micro fabricated electrodes. Does this look like exactly what we were just showing you guys in the backdrop of the scene? Vagus nerve stimulation, or hacking the vagus nerve, and eventually the consciousness. This is probably how they're going to do it. This is in the neck as well. Carries 100,000 nerve fibers. It's basically like the interface into the consciousness. Now, Salawi was knee deep in this. Knee deep. Actually, chest deep. Let's pull him back up. I want to show you his connection to bioelectronics, so you know I'm not making this up. Okay. Now, there's not many videos, but there are a couple videos on YouTube, and where you can hear Salawi talking about bioelectronics and electroceuticals. Okay. Implanted electrical devices, GlaxoSmithKline, 33 billion in sales. Wow. Let's find Montef on the page here. Now, I'm not quite sure what he's up to right now. After he's been let go. Here he is right here. Oh, geez. Okay, we're not doing that. There he is right there. So you know that I'm not making this up. Now you're starting to see why they needed to create something at warp speed. Now, I'm not saying making any claims, no medical claims whatsoever about bioelectronics related to the sticker. Okay, that's for you to decide what you think, if there's a connection or not, because I'm not saying there is one. All I'm saying is there are a lot of synchronicities in this series, are there not? There are just so many things that they're talking about that hadn't happened yet. Let's keep watching. So there is the ascension process, okay, and that we talked about earlier. And I thought about what I was looking at in this scene, and I had to think for a long time. And then it hit me. We've seen this before. The body code. This area in the back of the neck, the brainstem, is when you section this away, this rear part of the brain, you see an image. An image that I believe is the image of Christ. Watch.
What is that?
Tucked away in the back of the brain, the very place they pulled Ali 2.0, the chip, out of the back of the neck of the commander, is what appears to be a man. But it's not just a man with a loincloth on. Here you can see the legs here. We're going to pull out the, how do we do this? I was going to pull out the tools to actually look at this a little bit closer. But there you see, this is the brainstem. There you see the legs coming down here. The loincloth around the waist, the chest and stomach muscles, the head, which becomes the pineal body, the arm. This is Christ crucified on the cross. I did the crossover so that you could see what you're looking at here. Now, what does this mean? Because I know some people are getting freaked out. Some of you have already seen us cover this in the Body Code series. There is no need to freak out. This is actually a blessing, because watch this. What are we looking at here? Well, Christ came to become flesh. Did he not? There was a clue in that statement of Christ becoming flesh. This is a better image of it. This looks like a man on a cross. The Son of Man, Jesus Christ. He came to become flesh. And he even said to Simon, "Blessed are you that you knew that I was the Messiah, not because of the flesh, but because of the Father in heaven." There's also scriptures that talk about the truth being written on the fleshy tablets of the heart, which are like cross sections. The heart also is known to possibly translate into the brain. The brain and the heart could mean the same thing in the Bible, because there is nowhere else in the Bible where any other word is translated into brain. So what, they just never talked about the brain? Of course they did. So some of those translations that say heart really mean brain. Now, what else does this mean? Well, this is what I believe is the place where God and the Christ interact with us. It's written on our flesh. Remember the nested reality we talked about, things within things? That this is how God created our universe. There are things inside of things. We gave you many examples of that. The human eye is a metaphor or a microcosm or a scale model of the female womb. You have an umbilical cord, which is the hyaloid canal. You have an inverted image that comes in through the eye, which is like the inverted child. You have the cervix, which is the iris. You have the placenta, which is the retina, and on and on and on. There's like 10 or 15 other things that we found. This is how God created us. A nested reality. So why wouldn't he put the image of his son into our flesh? Makes perfect sense. And I believe this is where he resides. He resides, that when we're filled with the Holy Spirit, this is where it enters through. It's imprinted right onto our anatomy as a sign, so that the enemy can't lie, because who created us? God created us. You see how this works? So the question is the enemy looking for a way to overcome our temple, to take its place? And I think that's why they put this chip right in this area, to interface into our consciousness. Unbelievable. Look at this one. Look at this image. You can almost see him hanging on the cross right here. Amazing. God encoded in our flesh the plan of salvation, that Jesus was a real man. I want to be clear here, because there are channels out there, New Age channels, that are saying that, oh, we have all Christ inside of us. That's just a metaphor. That just means higher thinking and higher learning and higher... No, Christ was real. He came. Now, how did our flesh get like this? Well, our flesh was different before the fall of man. How do I know this? Because, one, God said Eve will have birth pangs that she didn't have before. That was part of the curse. So her flesh changed. He also told Adam, you will sweat. That means that implies a change in the physical form of Adam. And then there's also this weird discussion in the Bible about skins and tents. Oh, hell is the Hebrew word. And it's just, when you read the stories through about skin and coverings, it just doesn't make sense in the literal sense. Almost as if these skins are our flesh. So God made those skins, and in it he encoded the plan of salvation. Now, the curse is also in the flesh too. You know what's behind this image right here? Guess what's behind this image? A cross. What do you mean, Casey? The optic nerves and everything else in the body crosses from one side to the other. What? So this image is literally hung on the cross. What? How is everything crossed over? The right side of your body is controlled by the left side of your brain. The left side of your body is controlled by the right side of the brain. Now, I've heard a few YouTubers and leaders in the spiritual community talk about this mark and the being on the right side. I don't know who to credit on this, but someone I heard mention it. So if you know who that person is, let me know. They talked about the mark on the right hand. It could also mean the right side of the body. The right side of the body is controlled by the left brain. I know this gets a little confusing, but just think of everything as opposites, as like a mirror. Maybe this all has something to do with it. The image of Christ hung on a cross, the crossing over of one side of your body to the other. And this is probably one of the most amazing discoveries I think we made, but understand there are false teachers out there that are talking you out of believing in Christ with this image, saying that all of the archetypes of the images of Christ painted all came from dissections of the brain. And I just do not believe that to be the case. But God will let you fall into the strong delusion if that's what you want. He measures your heart, and only he knows what's in your heart. Not me, not anyone else. I'm not making a judgment about that. I'm just telling you, if you don't want to believe in God, he'll make that so that's how it is for you. And then the consequences follow that. So there he is right there, residing in the temple. And now we'll keep going with this. There's more. There it is right there. The AI inserted into the holy place, the temple.
It's an AI. It's the spirit of the commander.
Now, this little box that he's got his thumb over it, so you can't see it. But right under his thumb is a mark in the pineal position of this skull. Now, at first I thought I was losing my mind. I'm like, is this what they're really showing here? But then very quickly, in the same episode, exactly this point in the plot, the AI starts crucifying people who rejected the chip. We're going to show you that on Friday's show. Couldn't fit it all into this decode. But what you're going to hear next is you're going to hear him say that this rear brain area is the pathway to consciousness.
They must work similarly, right?
There's probably only one pathway to consciousness, so it's possible, yeah.
Both the AIs were made by the same person. Both tap into human consciousness. I've seen an AI get removed before.
Now, the AI's name is Ali, or a lie. Who is the father of the lie? Oh, we all know who he is. Satan. Now, this is where you have to be careful, because there is a false ascension called the Kundalini and chakras. You're going to see that in a second here. And it's about accessing the human mind, interfacing. But look at this. Here's Allie 2.0, and where she has these psychic abilities. And look what it says here. Wallart AT, am I willing to sleep? Something like that. I can't tell what that says. Keep watching. There you see this Kundalini, the spine interweaving into the matrix. Some people could say that could be DNA, but DNA, they would show rungs of a ladder instead, right? This to me looks more like a Kundalini thing.
At 26, she found a pathway to access a human mind. That same year, she had to lock up Allie because her answer for what was wrong with the world was too many people.
Accessing the human mind. What is the AI's goal? It was to reduce the world population. Unbelievable.
All the others did was run through an open door.
That's just repeating. So, that's it for season 3. I'm now into season 4. And I expect, and actually, I actually have already a montage almost complete. I'll get that uploaded very soon here, maybe even today or tomorrow. So I do need to upload a Between the Headlines show. Got all these tabs pulled up for that as well. So just stay posted. I'll try to keep things concise. I do like to spend a little bit more time on these morning shows, because so many of you take the time out of your day to come and show up. And I don't want to just end the shows super quick, but I do want to be efficient as well. So when I get into these headline shows, I promise to make these not too long, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, so you guys can see what's up with the updates on the headlines. A lot of things have transpired. They're now admitting in Japan that there are metallic objects inside the sticker, confirmed by the mainstream media. Now, I don't know what all this means. As I've told you, I don't know if they're gaslighting us or what, because a lot of people were saying that this was the case. Now, understand that the only way, if that were the case, if this isn't gaslighting, for some type of something to stick to you, I have to be careful what I say here, would be if these things replicated. That would be the only way that would happen. Now, it's possible. I know there's technology out there for things to replicate. And maybe that's why they picked up on it in Japan, because it had replicated. Maybe it's unrecognizable or undetectable unless it replicates. And maybe a couple of these vials accidentally replicated. I don't know. But I hope they get to the bottom of it. I looked online that no one has put these under a microscope yet. I would really like to see what's under the microscope of these particular Japanese sticker vials. I know other people have put it under a microscope, but not in Japan. I would like to see what they have, so we can see what's going on there. And I hope they get to the bottom of this. But here's where we're at. So I got some updates on that. I'll probably upload that today or tomorrow just to stay current with the headlines. You've got churches at each other's throat, the parishioners and the pastors, as churches are declining to sign off on exemptions. They are simply telling the people that have come to their church and given 10% of their money for their entire lives, in some cases, their fathers and grandmothers, they're saying, we're not going to sign off on an exemption. Go figure. Unbelievable. Now, I'm not sure, Tom, if we should be putting that G word in the chat. This is what probably got us flagged because it's being fake checked on everywhere else. Unless you're referencing specifically the Japanese article, they will fake check it. And that's probably what's been getting us flagged. Just be careful about that talking about that. Or call it something different. Call it a G word or something. But just like how we have to code 5G whiz. So, yes, the churches are in on it, Earthling here. You're absolutely 100% correct. We said this from the beginning that they were, because we looked at the tax write-offs and the money that they got in the stimulus packages. We looked at the loosening up of the Johnson Act, and everyone thought it was for a good reason, but really it wasn't. It was just so that private entities and presidents and whoever else wanted to could fund churches and give them money and basically mix money back into the temple, mix politics back into religion. And what does that do? It incentivizes corruption in the church. And in one case, we even identified that the T-Man gave a church a bunch of money so he could rent out, quote unquote, rent out their space. So what do you think they're going to do? They're going to do what he says. So yes, the churches have sold us out. And I believe they fall under this tax exemption. And I'm not sure if they completely don't pay taxes, but I do know corporations under 500 people were able to get a $500 per person per day write-off for time out of work, PTO, so that their employees could go get the sticker. So I would think that would probably also apply to churches, or maybe not. I don't know. Gonna have to look that up. Okay. All right, you guys. Love each and every one of you. Stay tuned. We'll try to keep you guys updated. Things are happening fast and furious. Love each and every one of you guys. Have a great day.